wrestling fans. Not sports entertainment fans. Professional wrestling fans. Professional wrestling. This is it. This is us standing up. This is
the Wrestling Matters Podcast, a podcast that stands up for professional wrestling. Why? Because wrestling matters. So join the revolution, because the revolution is now.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
professional wrestling. This is it. This is us standing up.
Yes, 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 yes.
That's 13-14.
Dina, I am the best in the world.
Cause that's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold said so.
What's happening, everybody? My name is Anthony Walker, and welcome to another installment of the fastest rising podcast around. That's right, the Wrestling Matters Podcast. Hope you're well. Hope you're well in whatever it is you are doing. I've had a bit of a rough week. A good week mixed with a bit of bad week as well. A little blend of in both, to be honest. Struggling a little bit in what I'm doing at the moment as far as my life is concerned, but I will get through it. We have all been thinking about it daily and thinking about it as long as I have. We have overcome all the odds, me and my family. We have struggled. We have done everything, and we've overcome it. You know, we've paid our dues, and I'm 31 years old now, and I think it's about time I start paying my dues in the way that I need to do it. You know, struggling if it means, you know, certain things without money, whatever. I just thank God that I've got the Middlesbrough job at the end of the day. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, enough of me. On today's show, as we always do, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk Raw, we're going to talk Smackdown, we're going to talk TNA, and I use that term loosely, I don't know. I'm going to go back to the usual routine for this week as well. We're going to talk NXT, we're going to talk Ring of Honor as well. NXT and Ring of Honor are back, ladies and gentlemen. I talked about them last week briefly. I talked about NXT last week briefly because of what Samoa Joe did as well. And I talked about Ring of Honor as well. So everything is back to normal this week. Big thank you to the Offshoot Radio team for coming on last week and having one hell of a blast. Now, there's this thing, ladies and gentlemen, that my friend David Anderson is doing on Facebook at the moment, or around in his area at the moment, and he's got in touch with me and asked if he could work with me to promote the Mystery Island on the podcast. That's right, it's something his friend is doing, a shop that he runs in Liverpool, and he wanted me to promote what's going down at that shop. So look out for future things in the podcast. I'm done a little deal with them to promote their stuff here on the podcast and promote my other stuff as well. So look out for further information and further advertising of what they're going to do as well, like certain wrestlers going to their shops to sign autographs and whatever. So all I'm saying is just listen out for that in the upcoming podcasts. Without further ado, though, ladies and gentlemen, something very weird happened to me this week. Very weird indeed. With my other stuff that I'm doing, the Gamesmatter channel as well, the producing and doing all that good stuff that I can do on there as well, I decided to do something involving WWE 2K16, and I thought a dream match. I looked on WWE.com's top 5 matches they would like to see The Undertaker in. One of them was Sheamus. I don't know if I agree with that, in a way. That's a bit 50-50 with me. The other one was Sting. Well, we've all been asking for that. But there was one in particular that came to mind, and that was Finn Balor. The Demon Finn Balor. Now, that was intriguing. No doubt. So I decided to do something involving WWE 2K16. I decided to have a computer versus computer dream match, Finn Balor versus The Undertaker. So I did it. And I uploaded it. I uploaded it onto my YouTube page. Go and check it out. Gamesmatter channel at youtube.com/Gamesmatter channel. But I thought, you know what, I'll put it on the Gamesmatter Facebook page as well. And I did, created it, did everything, blah blah blah. Put it up on the YouTube page. I put it on the Facebook page rather. I had to put a few little adjustments in first to prevent copyright and all that bullshit. So I put it up and everything. Got 10,000 reaches. It reached 10,000 people, and the numbers kept on growing. And from when I put it up to where we are now, it's got over 70,000 reach. It's reached over 70,000 people, and I wasn't expecting that. So if you've seen that video or you've checked it out, thank you. And it's got over 3,100 views on Facebook. Holy shit. You know, I really was not expecting that one bit. But hey, it worked. It worked very well indeed. I mean, it's just crazy. I've done all the stuff as well. I think I've got an idea on how to promote the Gamesmatter channel and all that stuff now. But yeah, that was just crazy. 70,000 people. And it helped me get over 100 likes on there as well. It definitely played a part in me getting over 100 likes on that channel, on that Facebook page as well. So I appreciate that, ladies and gentlemen. A lot more to come on that Facebook page, believe you me, as well. I'm getting close to 1,100 likes on the Wrestling Matters Podcast Facebook page, facebook.com/WM Podcast. Please check that out. And I've done some changes to the names of my YouTube pages. One was called Wrestling Matters, the other one was called Gamesmatter channel. Was called Gamesmatter. But I've decided to add Anthony Walker at the beginning of both titles now. So now it's called Anthony Walker's Wrestling Matters channel. Anthony Walker's Wrestling Matters, but technically it's called Anthony Walker's Wrestling Matters channel, and Anthony Walker's Games Matter, which is basically Anthony Walker's Games Matter channel. You get the gist. Basically, I've took the title and added Anthony Walker at the beginning of it, because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, the man. I'm not going to hide it. You know, why should I hide it? I don't know why I didn't think of this in the first place, to be honest. But, you know, they're my channels. You know, both of them are my channels, so why should I hide it? You know, you've seen me face on the YouTube Wrestling Matters channel. I'm sure you've seen my face at some point on the Games Matter as well. So why the hell should I hide it? So at the end of the day, they're both my channels. Anthony Walker's Wrestling Matters, Anthony Walker's Games Matter. It's as simple as that, ladies and gents. Also, yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, was Fear and Loathing. ICW Fear and Loathing took place November 15th, and look out for the Wrestling Matters channel, ladies and gentlemen, because I will be reviewing that at some point. Hopefully it's out as this has gone out, because usually when they do big shows, it goes out say about 9 o'clock time the next day or something, or 9 o'clock the following day or something. I hope it doesn't take too long for it to come out, because I'm kind of dying to see it, and it's the biggest show ever. So I'm hoping it comes out tonight as I'm doing this. This is going out as it is now. Probably it's going out on the Monday, so hopefully it's out tonight and I can watch it and I can review it for you on the Wrestling Matters channel. And yes, the audios of the reviews that I do will be going up on SoundCloud as well, so don't worry about that. I'm just trying to create things different now. I mean, I've done the podcast for Progress Wrestling and the Wrestling and ICW as well, but I thought, since the things that I've been doing on the Wrestling Matters channel as far as reviewing Raw is concerned have seemed to work, I thought, you know, maybe I can go down that route too, the Progress Wrestling and the ICW as well. Maybe I can take the podcast and make them into like video podcasts like I've been doing each week with the Raw review. Hey, it doesn't matter what numbers I get, as long as I get over the amount of numbers, which is over 100. I've got 200 over the on the Raw review this week, which I would imagine has grown by now. At some point, I would probably be about 300, 400 as I'm recording this. It's 200 as I'm recording this, so it's probably about 300, 400 right now as we speak. I don't know. It's kind of gone slowly, but hey, it's growing, you know. And last week's episode of the podcast on YouTube got over 100 views. So about 108, 105. So hey, considering where the Wrestling Matters channel was before, and considering where the podcast was before, I was getting 30 to 20 views per show on YouTube. Now look at it. I'm getting over 100, you know. The shit's going down, baby, and I love it. And I appreciate it. Everything that you guys are doing for me, every support that you guys are giving me is very much appreciated indeed. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end part 1 here, and coming up after the break, I will play the Raw audio, the Raw review audio. And also gives my little tip of what happened with Seth Rollins' injury as well. So listen carefully to the Raw audio. It reviews Monday Night Raw. And I also give my little opinion on what happened with Seth Rollins as well, back in Dublin, because he done his torn ACL and leg. Basically, he fucked himself up. That's putting it mildly. And now WWE hasn't got a world champion until at least Survivor Series, because Rollins is now for 6 to 9 months. So, with that being said, ladies and gents, I will be back right after this with the Raw audio, and I will play the Raw audio, and I'll be back in part 3 with Smackdown and NXT. So, enjoy the Raw audio. Can't even say it. Enjoy the Raw audio, and I'll see you in part 3. If you like the Wrestling Matters podcast, why not check out their Facebook page at facebook.com/WM podcast and like the page and show your support to the podcast that stands up for professional wrestling, the Wrestling Matters podcast. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's me. It is me. It is at HEAD at your service for another weekly video of the Raw review. Welcome to the video, ladies and gentlemen. It has been an action-packed week in the world of professional wrestling and the world of WWE in particular, because I'm going to kick off this video by saying my piece. I know it's a little bit late in saying it because it happened last week, well, Thursday, in fact. Seth Rollins is no longer the WWE World Heavyweight Champion because a match in Dublin on this UK tour, with Kane, he went for a sunset flip. I believe from what I saw in the video clip, he wanted to put him through the table and tore out his ACL. So he's out now for 6 to 9 months. And over the weekend, it was announced on Raw that it would be a 16-man elimination tournament to crown a new WWE champion, which will culminate at the Survivor Series. So for the next 2 weeks, there's going to be a tournament. Well, it started yesterday, goes to SmackDown, goes next week on Raw, and it seems that they're going to have the semi-finals and the final at Survivor Series. So it should be interesting. Anyway, welcome. Anyway, I will say this, though. Seth Rollins, I've always said you were a great champion, and you will be missed for the 6 to 9 months that you were out. I knew at some point Seth Rollins was going to lose the World Championship. It was just a case of when. I mean, the seeds were there. The seeds were planted that he was going to be losing that world title. I just never knew who was going to be. I don't think anybody expected him to be an injury that caused it. But Seth, you will be missed. Get well soon and get back in the ring as soon as you can. Now for the Raw review, ladies and gentlemen. The Monday Night Raw review, which was actually a very entertaining Monday Night Raw. I liked it. I thought it was very, very, very entertaining indeed. And Raw kicked off this week with a promo of Triple H announcing that it was going to be a tournament to crown a new World Heavyweight Champion. And brought out the, I guess you could say now, former number one contender, Roman Reigns. And he also thanks Seth Rollins and all of that. But it was the Roman Reigns bit that got me. Because it seemed from the way Triple H was coming over, he was looking for someone to replace Seth Rollins as world champion. Now, when I mean replace Seth Rollins as world champion, I don't mean replace him as world champion. Replace him as the somewhat corporate pet. Because I love me some Seth Rollins, but let's face it, over the past month since WrestleMania, he was nothing but a corporate pet. And I think Triple H was looking for someone to replace that because now his so-called corporate pet is on the shelf for 9 months at the most. So he's looking for that other guy to step in and fill in the proverbial shoes, if you will. But Roman Reigns was having none of it. And Triple H said that his match with Big Show was right after it. And then he went on to Roman Reigns and the Big Show, which was nothing new, really, because these two have had a match before. The last time these two were in a match that I remember, I believe it was the Last Man Standing match. Roman Reigns and Big Show in the Last Man Standing match. I believe it was that, these two, the last time these two fought. I don't know. I might be wrong. But Big Show looked to assert his dominance, which he did, but Roman Reigns, as we all knew, predictable. Roman Reigns got the spear, he got the victory, and moved on to the quarterfinals. Also, Kevin Owens went one-on-one with Titus O'Neil. The thing is with these matches that they had on Raw, most of them, a majority of them were predictable, especially this one with Kevin Owens and Titus O'Neil. I think they hired Titus O'Neil to job to Kevin Owens so he can go through. Although Titus did put on a good show, and one of my favorite bits of the match was where Titus was trying to rally up the crowd, but the crowd were too busy booing him because they like Kevin Owens, and then Kevin Owens managed to get the pop-up powerbomb and get the victory. I just thought that was a little bit hilarious, and we all knew at the end of the day Titus O'Neil was not going to be in contention for the World Championship anytime soon. Anyone who believed that is an idiot. Paige was backstage, which led into a match with Becky Lynch. Now, Becky is obviously fighting on behalf of Charlotte because this is like a set-up match for Paige and Charlotte at Survivor Series for the Divas Championship. And Becky got a little bit of revenge. I was surprised in this because I thought Becky was going to job to Paige. But I got no problems whatsoever with Paige losing in this match. Although Paige looked to send a message to Becky after the match, but Charlotte came down and chased Becky away. Chased Paige away, sorry. Another job match, quite frankly, because this is all Miz has been doing lately, is jobbing, and that's Ziggler and Miz. It seemed that Miz had pretty much control of this match, and pretty much control of the match, dominance. You could put Miz and dominance in the same sentence, and it took one mistake. I mean, Miz had Ziggler in the figure four, and it took one mistake by Miz, and he walked right into a super kick, which was pretty much straight on the chinny chin chin, and Ziggler advances into the quarterfinals. Just a typical thing. I mean, we all knew Ziggler was going to win that. We just didn't know well, at least I didn't know how dominant Miz was going to be in the match. But we all knew it was predictable anyway because that's all Miz has been doing. I mean, it's like I've said on the episode that went out yesterday of the podcast with James Belmont and Mike Rodriguez. Shout out to you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming on. Miz is, I mean, you wouldn't believe the way Miz is now. You wouldn't believe he used to be WWE champion. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, you did hear me correct. The Miz was WWE champion at one point. And you wonder why CM Punk's in the UFC. Anyway, Del Rio promo, him and Seb Coulter were just bashing the United Kingdom, Manchester and all that. Typical heel promo. Naomi and Natalya faced each other as well. Apparently, Natalya faced Tamia last week on SmackDown and then called out Naomi and said that you are the leader, aren't you? And Naomi answered, and I think Naomi got the victory. No, actually, I believe it was Natalya that got the victory. I'm not quite sure. I forgot what happened in this match. All I know is this. Everybody was shouting, we want Sasha. So I'm starting to think that the seeds were planted for Sasha's babyface turn that I mentioned on my podcast episode. Because there was all this talk about WWE turning Sasha babyface. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't she already there anyway? I mean, have you heard people always shout, we want Sasha? And hopefully they can ignite that as a group. But everybody wants Sasha, but Sasha came in and Team Bad basically humiliated Natalya. And Sasha put Banks in the bank statement. And basically, like I said, Team Bad humiliated her. But it seemed, from what I saw, the seeds are planted for that Sasha Banks babyface turn. When's it going to happen? I don't know. In my opinion, sooner the better. because I want that to be a group in the women's division. That could be the evolution of the women's division or the Divas division. All they need is to bring Bayley up from NXT. Anywho, moving on. Cesaro went one-on-one with Sheamus in a first round match. Now, this was a good match. Hard-hitting, physical match, which Cesaro managed to get the pin. But he had a little bit of help, in a way. Wayne Rooney helped him out a little bit. Now, during the commercial break, I'm guessing on the WWE app, which I don't have, by the way, and I'm not going to. I mean, why would anyone want to purchase a WWE app just so they can watch Raw during the outbreak? Apparently, well, it showed the clip as well. Wade Barrett did nothing but bash Wayne Rooney. But it came to the point where Sheamus eventually ended up getting in Wayne's face. And then Wade said, go and deal with him. And then Wade Barrett says, why don't you mind your own business and sit your ass back down and whatever. Rooney just slapped the taste out of his mouth. Now, apparently before, these two had a beef on Twitter. These two had an issue on Twitter, which obviously culminated here tonight. And Rooney bitch slapped Wade Barrett. And that distraction caused Cesaro to get the victory. And next week, it's Cesaro and Roman Reigns one-on-one. So that should be good. Next week. Tyler Breeze was backstage doing an interview, and all of that led to Dean Ambrose and Tyler Breeze, which Dean Ambrose eventually won. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I knew Tyler Breeze would lose this because he's only just come up on the roster, onto the main roster. And, you know, it's a little bit too quick. And if there's anybody that deserves to be in title contention for the World Heavyweight Championship, or quite frankly, to be World Heavyweight Champion, it's Dean Ambrose. I mean, this poor bastard hasn't done anything. I mean, I'm a huge Ambrose fan. I love Dean Ambrose. And the only time he had a title run as the US Championship, which only had about 3 defenses during his 6-month-ish title run. And if there's anybody that deserves a credible championship title run, it's him. I mean, for goodness sake, it absolutely gets on my nerves that he hasn't had that credible run. He should have been WWE champion. I believe it was Elimination Chamber when he faced Rollins. You know, I mean, quite frankly, it just amazes me that this guy hasn't done anything. I mean, he's had feuds with the Wyatt. I mean, the last time he had a feud with Bray Wyatt, it made him look stupid. He just needs that credible one. And I am praying, although I know it's not going to happen, but I'm praying that Dean Ambrose gets that world title run and gets a world championship and maybe goes to the Survivor Series and wins it. Because he deserves it. I mean, it's mind-boggling that the way Dean Ambrose has been booked in WWE, it's truly mind-boggling. And he deserves a title. If not WWE title, stick the Intercontinental Championship. Or better yet, have him beat Del Rio and stick the US title on him again. Except this time, have him defend the title, except having him defend it 3 times in the space of 6 months. Which is what killed the US title anyway. And you wonder why they put it on Cena. I mean, just give Dean what he deserves. Because he deserves it. 6-man tag, which saw the New Day and Neville and the Usos. Now, we all know at some point, I would imagine it'll be the Survivor Series. It'll be the Usos versus New Day for the tag team titles. Probably on the pre-game show, or the pre-show. I would imagine. I don't know why, but that's just WWE for you. But Xavier Woods manages to get the victory over Neville by using the ropes. And it seems that New Day, people like the New Day. I don't, particularly. I respect the talent, Big E, Kofi, and that. And I always think Big E and Kofi should be the tag team out of that group. And if you ask me, although he is good in the ring, Xavier Woods, I'll give him his due, but I think he's better as a manager. You know, that motor mouth on the outside who plays the trombone and, you know, gets on your nerves, and the kind of manager you want to slap the taste right out of. You know, I believe he'd be good for that run. You know, WWE might want to consider him, putting him in that. Obviously, he's not going to be on the level of a Jimmy Hart or Bobby Heenan or anything like that. But I think he could be good that way. You know, I mean, this Freebird rule, you know, WWE trying to make New Day the Freebirds just doesn't look good on them. But they might want to consider that. I would like to see that. Xavier Woods as a managerial role, or the manager of this tag team from the New Day. Have him still compete, you know, still wrestle when it comes to a 6-man tag. But we all know the team out of that group is Kofi and Big E. No question about that. But credit to New Day, they eventually got the victory. And not the way to lose a match for Neville, since he's going into SmackDown to face Wade Barrett in a first-round match. Now, for the main talking point of Monday Night Raw, the Wyatt eulogy. If I said that wrong, I apologize. Apparently, Bray Wyatt was supposed to come out and announce that he has consumed the souls of the Brothers of Destruction. And throughout the night, they played tribute to the BOD. You know, some of their classic moments, their singles, as well as the tag team. As well. Undertaker and Kane, that is. But while Wyatt was having this eulogy on his own, on the Titantron, it played Undertaker and Kane moments on the Titantron. It like sucked it in last time you saw it, but then it sucked it back out again. And then Brothers of Destruction showed up on Raw, which was awesome. And Raw ended basically with a Brothers of Destruction Wyatt brawl. 2-on-4. And BOD basically tore apart the Wyatt family. No question about it. They tore apart the Wyatt family and sent a message to the Wyatt family. Now, we all know there has to be an 8-man tag of an 8-man elimination match at Survivor Series. Yeah, did I say that right? 8-man tag. There has to be. Involving the Brothers of Destruction and the Wyatt family. 4 members of the Wyatt family against 2 members of the Brothers of Destruction. Now, the question is, who would join and who would you want to see join? Okay, leave your comments. Please get involved on this, guys. I'd like to know. Please, leave your feedback. Who would you want to see get involved? Who would you want to see team up with the BOD? Leave your comments in the description below. Who would you want to see team up with BOD against the Wyatt? Because you know what's going to happen. Survivor Series elimination match involving the Wyatt family, all 4 members of the Wyatt family against BOD and 2 mystery partners. Who would you like to see? There's all these rumors going around with Brock Lesnar, which I highly unlikely. A possibility of Sting, but the thing is, the last time I heard about Sting, when he got injured against Seth Rollins, that was a career-ending injury. That's what I heard. Hopefully I'm wrong, and I pray that I'm wrong, because it'd be a horrible way for a legend to go out. And there's a possibility of Daniel Bryan as well, because everybody thought Daniel Bryan was going to be facing Cena at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, except it was Del Rio. I don't know who I would like to see. I know who I would want to see team up with him, which would be epic, and that's Sting. But like I said, is that a threatening career? Is that a career-threatening injury? But it's surely interesting. We all know at the end of the day, it's going to be an 8-man tag. The question is, who would team up? Who would you like to see team up? But who would team up with BOD against the White? You know, it's intriguing to say the least. But from the looks of it, on Monday Night Raw, it seems BOD didn't need anybody because they tore apart the Wyatt family anyway, and sent a message to Bray Wyatt that you can't kill what won't die. All in all, ladies and gentlemen, Monday Night Raw was very entertaining and very good for me. And I'm going to give it a good solid 8 out of 10. And 4.5 out of 5 in my terms. But 8 out of 10 in Sunday Segway terms. That's really, really good. Very entertaining. Yes, there was a few here and there moments. But very entertaining Raw. I very much enjoyed it. And it all ended with an awesome moment at the end with BOD returning and getting to see BOD, the Brothers of Destruction, on Raw, which was very, very cool. And no doubt we'll get to see them at Survivor Series as well. And it's just cool to see the Demon came back because, like I say, I was done with Corporate Kane a long time ago. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do a quick plug here because you're probably wondering what I've got on my T-shirt here. I got this from teespublic.com or teespublic.com. It is They Stole the Show, Macho Man and Ricky Steamboat. Now, I got this T-shirt off somebody on Facebook called Paul Jaser. If that's pronounced wrong, I deeply apologize. It's spelled Jaser. Shout out to you, sir. Thank you so much for the T-shirt. I'm wearing it, representing. It's awesome T-shirt, and pretty much it tells the truth because Ricky Steamboat and Randy Savage stole the show at WrestleMania. You might want to send this T-shirt to Al Snow because Al Snow claims that Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant stole the show at WrestleMania. Nah. Anyone with a brain could see, or anybody with a brain who watches that show back could see it was Macho Man and Ricky Steamboat. Granted, Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan was the draw of the show of WrestleMania, but this match stole the show. This match tells the truth. Okay? Tells the truth. So, with that being said, though, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. That is the end of this video. I really do appreciate you guys watching. Good opinions, bad opinions. At the end of the day, you guys are taking a liking to what I do or taking interest in what I do. And I appreciate it. And with that being said, though, guys, starting on November 15th, quick little plug here, I will be doing an ICW video as well on the Sunday, going into Fear and Loathing, because it's Fear and Loathing that day as well, 2015's Fear and Loathing show. I'll be doing 2013's Fear and Loathing on that day. And then starting Monday, November 16th, it is Undertaker Week. Because it's Undertaker Week on the network, but it's also Undertaker Week on the Wrestling Matters channel, because I will be doing 3 videos, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all based on The Undertaker. Favorite moments, favorite matches, and just talk about The Undertaker in general and what he's meant to WWE, as well as the professional wrestling business, and why he is a legend. So tune in for all of that, and the only way you get to see it, guys, is keep up to date with these videos. Subscribe to the Wrestling Matters channel, where wrestling matters. My name is Anthony Walker. Wrestling matters. Don't you ever forget that, because sports entertainment does not. Until next time, peace out. If you like the Wrestling Matters podcast, why not follow the Wrestling Matters podcast now on Twitter at WM Podcast for all professional wrestling news. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Wrestling Matters podcast. Hope you have enjoyed Hope you enjoyed that raw audio. Thank you to everybody who watched that on the Wrestling Matters channel or even took notice. And now we're going to go and talk about SmackDown, and we're going to throw in NXT too. I want to kick off with... I'm not going to talk briefly too much about the two programs. I will talk about the main topic from SmackDown, and that is Bray Wyatt challenging The Undertaker and Kane to a tag match at Survivor Series. 3 days after The Undertaker and Demon King crashed their own eulogy and unleashed hell on the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt and his cohort kicked off SmackDown. Luke Harper, Eric Rowan pledged to sacrifice the Usos to honor the new face of fear, or the self-proclaimed new face of fear. Braun Strowman swore to destroy anyone in his path and pile the bodies to sky for the Eater of Worlds. Claiming his dark adversaries would never be the same, Bray then issued a challenge to the Brothers of Destruction for a match at Survivor Series against two members of the Wyatts of his choosing. But when the bell rang for the opening SmackDown contest, it remained unclear whether the Dead Man and the Dynamic Brother would accept. Now, I want to talk about something. Braun Strowman destroyed Fandango. Now, I want to talk quickly about something that took place in the tournament, because there was a couple of matches that took place in the tournament for the World Championship, which is going to hopefully culminate at Survivor Series. I want to know one thing, though, guys. Kalisto faced Ryback this past week in the tournament. What the fuck did Ryback do to WWE? Or to WWE booking, or to WWE Network? I mean, was that a punishment? He lost to Kalisto this past on SmackDown. What the fuck? You know, I mean, did Ryback do something wrong? Did he say something bad on a dirt sheet or something that I didn't hear about, or nobody knows about, quite frankly? I mean, my God. I mean, don't get me wrong. Kalisto is a great talent, and the only logic that I could see from this is they're trying to promote him as the new Rey Mysterio. That's the only way they should go with it. If that's the case, then okay. Ryback must have done something bad to get beat by Kalisto in this tournament and have Kalisto advance. I mean, like I said, the only reason they could do that is if Kalisto is being promoted as the new Rey Mysterio or something. Other than that, it makes no sense. I'll get to more of that in a second. King Barrett lost to Neville in the tournament. Obviously, Mr. Barrett was not fully prepared, or fully recovered rather, from Wayne Rooney's slap on Monday Night Raw. And yeah, I mean, it makes no difference going back to Kalisto. I mean, despite the unrelenting power of Ryback, the resilient high flyer Kalisto would not give up, displaying heart of a champion, and in a major upset, the masked superstar hit his finishing move to get the victory over him. But it'd be interesting to see what happens on Raw and this week in general, what happens. But to me, it makes no sense. I mean, Ryback must have done something bad for that to happen. Must have done. Alberto Del Rio beats Stardust, bring back Cody Rhodes, and Ryback claims that he's ready for the top of the mountain. Not Ryback, Roman Reigns, sorry, so I've got Ryback on the brain now. And the Usos beat Luke Harper and Eric Rowan by disqualification, and Dong and the Undertaker sent a message saying that the Wyatt family at Survivor Series will rest in peace. Not much needs to be said about that, really. I don't understand why they've got a tag match with this, but hey, we all knew that the Undertaker was going to compete at Survivor Series in some capacity. We all knew it was going to happen. But we'll have to wait and see how the outcome is in that. Now to NXT. If I can find NXT, that is. Bear with me, guys. I mean, I talked about it briefly last week about Balor and Samoa Joe and Finn Balor's, or what happened and everything. Here we are. Samoa Joe betraying Finn Balor, if you will. Apollo Crews went one-on-one with Baron Corbin after what happened last week, and he got a little small measure of revenge, because Mr. Corbin cost cruise the NXT Championship. So there's going to be beef there. NXT Women's Champion Bayley and the Hype Brothers beat Alexa Bliss and Blake and Murphy. Despite Bliss walking off with the NXT Women's Championship, I can't see her winning the championship, but we all know Alexa is the next challenger for Bayley in that respects. Nia Jax beat Diona. If that's spelled wrong, if that's pronounced wrong, I apologise. And if all of that is pronounced wrong, I apologise. But you know, Nia continued her path of destruction. In a shocking moment, the Vaudevillains are no longer the tag team champions. Dash and Dawson won the tag belts this past week, and won it very effectively too, I might add. Great tag match, and they out-wrestled the tag champs, the Vaudevillains, and no doubt the Vaudevillains will be looking for their rematch. And Samoa Joe explained why he attacked NXT champion Finn Balor. I know why. We all knew why. We all knew from the get-go. The NXT title. He claims that he promised him a NXT championship match and never delivered. And Joe, in a way, had to take matters into his own hands. And Balor got choked out by Joe in the melee that assumed. So, with that being said, that is the end of the Smackdown and NXT main talking points. Hope you enjoyed that. And I'll be back after this quick timeout with TNA Ring of Honor. So, stay tuned. If you like the Wrestling Matters podcast, why not check out their Facebook page at facebook.com/WM podcast and like the page and show your support to the podcast that stands up for professional wrestling, the Wrestling Matters podcast. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Wrestling Matters podcast. Now, it's a TNA segment, ladies and gentlemen, but you know what? I'm not going to talk too much about TNA. I'll go through the results and that. I'll give you my feelings about what happened last week with Offshoot Radio. I'm kind of going off TNA at the moment, and I hate to say that, but it's true. So I'll just give you the results of what happened. Madison Rayne beat Brooke. Bram beat Rockstar Spud. This must have been before his criminal convictions. Manic beats Mandrews, who is now no longer in TNA, at least from my knowledge. He's back in Progress Wrestling anyway, so, and he fights Will Ospreay at the end of the month. Part 1 of an interview with Jeff Hardy as well, which was probably the only interesting thing on the show. The Wolves collide, and it was a time limit draw, so both men get 1 point apiece. Ring of Honor a little bit there. They also played part 2 of the interview with Jeff Hardy. Shearer beats Kenny King, who's now in Ring of Honor. ANX, more on him in a minute. And Eric Young beats King of the Mountain champion Bobby Roode as well to advance. But like I said, guys, tune into last week's podcast. I've said my piece of what I want to do in respects of what I want and who I want. I've said my piece, so it is what it is. Now we'll talk Ring of Honor, and I'll start Ring of Honor with the main event. The main event was a rematch from the Ring of Honor show, pay-per-view, if you will. ANX, who were the surprise team at the pay-per-view against the Briscoes. And if you saw the first match, it's just basically where it picked off, basically. Good hard-hitting tag team, 2 of the best tag teams in Ring of Honor. The founding tag team, Briscoes, just doing their thing. Everybody, hard-hitting stuff, great tag team wrestling, great double teams, just a great tag team main event, which saw the Briscoes get their revenge on ANX in a way, or got a small measure of a receipt, if you will, because they got the victory. Where does that leave both teams? We don't know. Now, Cedric Alexander and ACH were the kickoff match. This was a measure of power versus speed, power with Cedric, speed with ACH, and it was just a good match. ACH used his quickness. Cedric looked at all costs to slow the momentum down to the best that he could and keep it at his pace, but ACH was too quick. He flew, he did everything. He even caught him with a high clothesline and a kick which took his head off at one point, and it all ended with Cedric going for a springboard move, slips on the top rope, ACH takes advantage and gets the victory in the 450. Take that any way you want. And yes, it went to a commercial break, and Vader Scott was pissed off, and so was Cedric, because they blamed Nigel McGuinness for the loss. Will Ferrara and Caprice Coleman, a match that was dominated by Caprice, to be honest with you. Yes, Will Ferrara got his blows in and got his stuff in as well, and quickened the pace at times and kept up with Caprice, but Caprice was a dominant figure in this match, working on the shoulder, showing his dominance, and Caprice uses that shoulder, working on the shoulder to the advantage by getting the submission victory. Prince Nana was at ringside and handed a letter to Will, the same letter, or the same kind of letter that he handed to Caprice a month ago rather. I don't know. But anyway, all in all, a good show. A far better show than TNA, I would imagine, but a good show nonetheless. And look forward to next week, which is headlined by Kingdom Tag Team Title Defense against the Addiction. Addiction's rematch clause revoked, if you will. But all in all, a good show. I very much enjoyed it. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I will be back right after this with the outro to the Wrestling Matters podcast and a promotion on a company that I've joined up that is based in Liverpool called Mystery Island. So for more information, stay tuned after this break. See you in a bit. If you like the Wrestling Matters podcast, why not follow the Wrestling Matters podcast now on Twitter at WM Podcast for all professional wrestling news. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final part of the Wrestling Matters podcast. And this is just a go-out thing now, guys. What I'm looking to do, this is like an outro kind of thing, but I want to use this somewhat outro to promote my new comrades, if you will. The Ministry, or the Mystery Island. Oh, the Ministry Island. So I'm going back to the Ministry of Darkness. The Mystery Island, okay? It is in Liverpool, a little company, little shop in Liverpool where people go. You know, it's a decent shop because they bring wrestlers in, you know, and they bring, you know, like wrestlers in to come and sign and do signings and whatnot. They've got Rockstar Spud coming in February, and they've just had, Lana Austin from TNA's boot camp, I believe, British boot camp, this past week. So they've got Rockstar Spud coming in February, which should be awesome. For more information on these guys, they are working now. We are in partnership, Wrestling Matters podcast and them, because we made a deal. I'm going to let you guys into it. We made a deal. I promote them on the podcast. They do things with me and stuff like that as well, you know, help me out in respects of, say, promotion and whatever. So, you know, we've made a little deal here and there, and we're going to be working with each other. I'm very much looking forward to working with these guys and helping them out, and hopefully them helping me out in the future upcomings as well, in the future months. So if you want more information on these guys, go to facebook.com/back to the island, it's spelled back to the island, all one word, on Facebook. Go to twitter.com/The Mystery Island, again, all one word, and go to their YouTube page as well. They have a YouTube page. Type in The Mystery Island. I don't know what their full URL to the YouTube page, but they have a YouTube page, and find them on there. Just type in The Mystery Island, spelled MYSTERY, and Island spelled ISland. Basically. So be sure to check them out as well, and they have a website. For more information, why not go to their website? I'm sure you can find all the links to their social media stuff on there as well. And go to we have to go back Weebly.com, not Weebly.com, store/C1/featured products HTMI. So be sure to check that out as well. I believe it's just we have to go back.weebly.com. You know, and I'm sure all the information will be on there as well, featured products and stuff like that. And I hope you've enjoyed the podcast this week, guys. I'm going to wrap it up right there. Tune in next week for more of the same, and look out this week as well on the Wrestling Matters channel. Be sure to check it out, AJW Wrestling Matters. I've done this right now, there should be a video up of a live stream that I did based on The Undertaker and me talking about The Undertaker. Check out my review on ICW Fear and Loathing 2013, because it was Fear and Loathing yesterday, and I will be looking forward to watching that in the coming weeks. And also be sure to check out the Raw review tomorrow. I'll play the audio next week on the podcast. And 2 more videos on The Undertaker, best moments and best matches, coming Wednesday and Thursday. Also check out Friday as well on the Wrestling Matters channel, because I will give a separate video, giving my Survivor Series predictions, because it's Survivor Series on Sunday. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, my name is Anthony Walker. Thank you so much for being awesome. 1,100 likes, guys. I made it on Facebook, facebook.com/WM Podcast, all the social media outlets, and hopefully next week I'll have my website announced. So, tune in for that. Until next time, guys, like I keep saying, peace out.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change!
Professional wrestling! This is it! This is us standing up!
Yes! 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 Yes!
That's 13-14!
Dina, I am the best in the world.
Cause that's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold said so.